Listen, you may be thinking about moving to Killeen, Texas in 2026, but before you sign a lease, you pack up, you start looking for homes to buy. Let's break down the real cost of purchasing a home in Killeen, Texas in 2026 and see if it's actually a good idea for you. If you don't know who I am, I'm Brina Gordon, your favorite Central Texas realtor. My job is to ensure you have all the tools and resources that you need to make the best decision possible. So with that being said, we're going to break down the real cost of living in Killeen. We're not going to sugarcoat it. This is not gloom and doom. These are just factual information pieces that you can use to make these informed decisions. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Make sure you comment down below if you have some additional questions or if you think maybe some of this is a little outdated information or whatever. I want to make sure that we are open for communication, and of course that I can always serve you if I can. So let's talk about the price of housing, renting versus buying. Now, I am a realtor in this area, as I've already stated. So again, I do see this data every day. I'm looking at the housing market, I'm looking at the trends. So that's why I like to provide this information to you so you can make these decisions for yourself. I tell this to my clients all the time. I'm just providing you these things. I'm going to advocate, I'm going to educate, but at the end of the day, you have to make the decision that makes most sense for you and your family. And if that's not buying, that's okay too. Again, it's empowering you to make these decisions. So most rental rates are between $600 and $2,000. Now you can definitely go higher than this. You can go a little bit lower than this, but I'm just giving you the average ranges. We are seeing increases year after year, especially after COVID. You know, this is a very transit area, and I like to make sure people know that too. So we do see homes come in the market more frequently compared to other areas that may be a little bit more stable in regards to how often people move. With that being said, that can translate right back into our monthly payments as far as what we're expecting for these rental amounts, because if people are recently purchasing their homes within the last couple of years, payments have gone up a little bit, so that does reflect in sometimes the rental amounts that we see. And in general, we did need to see a little bit of a boost because we were definitely below the national average by a good bit. We still are, but I do think it's starting to bridge the gap a little bit, so we are starting to manage some of those expectations. So if you want something newer, larger, if you want, further out, there's a lot of different variables, but again, we're looking between $1,600 and $2,000 per month for a average home here, and a relatively common neighborhood and things like that. So it gives you a pretty good ballpark or budgeting expense. Now, if you're looking to buy in Killeen, again, I'm giving you the ranges. There are homes that are below and above, so by all means, don't just take this as concrete. But many homes are still available between $240,000 and $300,000. I would say the sweet spot for a lot of people is still around that $250,000. That's kind of just, hey, I want to be here or below but still get the things that I want, or at least a majority of them. So I would kind of say we're still within that range. It's very easy to get well above it, don't get me wrong on that part, and like I said, there are still homes that are below it too, so there's a lot of flexibility there. But again, that's a $60,000 difference right there in that range, so it gives you a lot of wiggle room. And your monthly payment changes, but it doesn't change as much as people may think it does. If you are a VA buyer, then of course these are veteran clients, and of course that is a very predominant loan product here, so we see that very frequently. Same thing with FHA. This is predominantly for first-time home buyers, so that does give you a lower down payment option if you're not eligible for VA, or if you don't want to go conventional as well. VA and FHA usually have the best interest rates, so a lot of times people do go more towards those options if conventional is just not able to meet their needs. Monthly payments comparable to rent, I would say you're probably going to get closer to that $2,000 mark. That $250,000 range is going to sit right at that $2,000 mark, and that's where most people kind of see a sweet spot at. So they are starting to get very comparable. So again, it just depends on your exit strategy, how long you're going to be here, what you're looking for, if it's forever home or not, if you decide to lease or buy. So I'm just giving you these tidbits of information so you know what we are looking like.
Hey, if you're thinking of relocating to the Fort Cavazos area, I have just the thing for you. My team and I have actually taken the time to create the ultimate relocation guide, which is meant to save you hours of research, and I have it linked right down below. The best part is there's no obligation to this, and it's going to come with everything from the top employers to the best schools and a boatload of other information, everything that you need to make the best decision. Again, no obligation, so make sure you click the link below. It also will be pinned, and I hope that it helps.
So just kind of giving you some different examples of what we're looking at for renting versus buying. Now of course there's benefits to buying, there's benefits to renting too, so I will not shy away from that either. There's less responsibility in regards to if something breaks or if you did need to move quickly. Now again, if you own the property, now you're building equity, so it could be asset and a long-term strategy. So it just depends on what you're looking for. There is pros and cons to both sides, and I say that as a realtor, as someone that has purchased here, someone that has invested in the Killeen area, so I do understand both sides of pros and cons of that. Now let's talk about utilities, because you have your monthly payment, you know, you've got your property taxes, you've got your homeowner's insurance, you got your principal and everything. And if you're FHA, you also have mortgage insurance. If you're conventional, you could also have mortgage insurance as well. But let's talk about utilities, because this is something that I don't think people always really plan for, and it's kind of hard to at times, but it's something that you always want to keep in the back of your mind when you are budgeting, because you don't want it to be a surprise. Now, for the most part, we are pretty reasonable here. I don't think water is terribly expensive. Of course, if you have a large family or if you have a sprinkler system, all these kind of factors can add to it. However, I don't think that it is still unreasonable. I do think the thing that will catch you off guard potentially is your electricity bill, especially if you're someone that likes to keep it at 68 and we're 102 degrees outside. That's a lot for that home to maintain. And of course, the larger the home, the more it's trying to cool down if you have a split unit, and there's a few different factors with that as well. So I would say you definitely want to budget a little bit heavier for the summer. We do have some cooler months, so like right now it's 70 degrees outside. You don't really need to run heat or cooling, so your home can really maintain itself. So that definitely helps to keep that down. But during our hotter months, the AC is definitely running, so you want to make sure you're getting it serviced properly. You want to make sure that you are maintaining your home properly, just so you can keep energy efficiency to the max of your capabilities to minimize extra spending on that. So internet, I think, is pretty competitive. If you are in your subdivision, you do want to make sure who is out there, because sometimes it is limited selections. Gas is available for some homes. I don't see that being as popular in most. You'll actually see it in older homes and maybe some of the kind of upscale homes. You may run into some gas. It is a lot of electricity out here, so just keep that in mind. But overall, utilities are very manageable for most areas. Again, you just want to make sure if you rent a co-op area, which has a tendency to be some of the areas that are a little bit further out, then you are limited, so that the competition and the competitive pricing can probably skew a little bit more.
All right, now for the question of the day. What is the first thing you look for in a new city? Is it a coffee shop or your favorite store? I really want to know, so make sure you comment down below, or better yet, shoot me a text, email, or even give me a call. All my information is going to pop up here on the screen. So again, what is the first thing you look for in a new city?
Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is property taxes, because I hear it all the time. People are looking, at the principal interest payment, and they're like, okay, that's not bad. And then property taxes get added, and they're like, holy cow, where did this $500 come from? That came from your property taxes. So Texas does not have state income, which is great, but we do have property taxes. So I do think that kind of offsets it. It just is what it is kind of situation. So we just try to manage it. Make sure you file your homestead. If you're a veteran, if you are eligible for any sort of tax reduction, you definitely want to take advantage of that. That will greatly help your monthly payment. But property taxes are definitely higher than most states. But some home prices are significantly lower. So, it's kind of a trade-off on that. And maybe that's your thing. Maybe it's not, but just giving you the true honest feedback and information that's available out here. So that's something that you definitely want to keep in mind, because I do see some advertising and some marketing features that will only show your principal interest, but it will not show your property taxes, and that can definitely skew your numbers by quite a bit. So you definitely want to make sure that you're getting all of that information. If you're looking at a new construction home, that's a conversation that I would definitely advise you to have with your lender as well, because that's a whole different ballpark in regards to making sure that you are prepared when that land in that home is fully appraised and that property tax kicks in fully, versus when it's just unimproved land. Now, let's talk about transportation and daily life costs. I think we're pretty affordable. We are a very transit area. We're very driver friendly. Now, if you are used to communities that everything is in walking distance, I definitely think that could be a little bit of a transition or something that you have to adjust to. We do also have public transportation, and I have a whole, I do have a video or section where I talked about that as well. You can also follow me on my social media. I have a section where I posted, because I got the opportunity to meet one of the people in charge and really kind of dive in and learn how our public transportation is evolving and how they are starting to take on different tools and resources to be a lot more useful to our area, and they've actually been the model for some places as well. So our public transportation is a lot more advanced than people realize it, and they are continuing to move on that pathway. So I was super proud to learn all that information. But if you're used to areas where, hey, we walk to the grocery store, we walk there, or very large cities, then we are definitely quite a bit different than that. But we are very driver friendly. Again, like I said, we do have a public transportation as well. Commutes are short compared to, I think, a lot of other places. Most of the time it's just you getting out of your individual suburb or whatever area, but most of our things are pretty reasonable. We have a lot of smaller grocery stores, green Walmarts, that are located within driving distance of subdivisions too. So I don't think there's a real big struggle on that part, but of course it depends on your lifestyle, what you're used to, and if this is something that you now have to get accustomed to. Parking isn't typically an issue when you have to go places here. Again, we're not an overly large city. We are growing, but we're not overly large. We don't have those sort of same attractions. So parking is typically not a big issue. If you need to go shopping or you need to grab somewhere, holidays or certain things, it definitely picks up, but it's nothing that's ever been overbearing compared to some other areas. And we don't have toll roads, so you're not worried about that. We have our main highways, some of our main busy streets, but that's pretty much it.
Hey guys, as much as I love making these videos, there's one thing that I absolutely love more, and that's helping families from all over the US make the move here to the Fort Cavazos and surrounding area. I've helped countless families move here, so whether you're coming out next week, next month, or even next year, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. My contact information is going to be right here down below in case you missed the pop-up screen. And I look forward to helping you and your family move to our beautiful area.
So let's talk about the lifestyle trade-off, okay? And I think this part matters because I actually just read a comment on one of my videos that was talking about, and that kind of helped prompt this as well, that was just discussing, oh, you know, well, we don't have the entertainment and dining. And part of that may be true, but again, it goes back to the lifestyle that you may be looking for. We know we don't pretend to be Austin or Dallas or Houston or anything like that. I think those places are amazing. I like to go visit them. I like to have fun, but I do like the smallness and the quaintness of our local area, that we can move around pretty easily. We don't have toll roads. We don't have long commutes. We don't have heavy traffic. The worst traffic is probably 8 a.m. trying to get your kid to school, which is common, but it's not overly aggressive. The worst is probably trying to get on Fort Hood with PT and people getting off. But other than that, we just don't have that sort of level of aggressive traffic, or, you know, you need to work your schedule around getting to work and from work and things like that. But we don't really pretend to be those areas. We do say that we are centrally located because we are, so you do have easy access to these major cities. Some people will love that, some people will not, and that's totally okay. So if you are looking for certain entertainment, shopping experiences, things to do, you do have to drive a little bit, but we are somewhat getting better as far as entertainment area. But I do think that we're not far enough from those places to where you can go enjoy them, come back, and you're not overwhelmed. You're not trying to stay the night. For the most part, you start going to Houston or something, then yeah, maybe. But Dallas, Austin, Waco, there's still closer places that you can enjoy without necessarily feeling obligated to live there. So I think it really just comes down to what you value the most and what's realistic for your lifestyle. So the question is, will Killeen be affordable 2026? For most people, for most families, I think that it will. For first-time buyers, it's still proving that it's affordable. We have major construction all throughout this area, all throughout the cities. So there's so many like little developments that people just don't know about, and you won't know about really until you drive past that road for whatever reason, and you're like, oh my God, there's a whole community being developed. So if you're looking to buy a home, raise a family, long-term stability, invest, I still think this area has so many different options. And again, we're connected to Austin, so we get a lot of overflow for them too. So there's a lot of different caveats and reasoning of why people are still choosing this area, and why I still choose to serve in this area, serve my clients, and why I purchase in this area. And so it just goes back to, again, your lifestyle, your priorities, and what you're looking for. And it's not going to be a fit for everyone, and that's completely okay. But for a lot of people, it is. I've helped a lot of families relocate here, retire here. People have come back here, and I think that is happening for a reason. It's just not a fluke. It's just not a coincidence. The pattern is speaking for itself. So if you're thinking about relocating to the Killeen, any of our surrounding cities, or if you're PCSing to Fort Hood and want an honest breakdown and learn more information, please feel free to reach out to me. This is what I love to do. I love to help. I love to educate my clients, my buyers, my sellers, my investors, and see if it's a good fit for them. And again, I'm very honest and I'm very transparent. If it's not a good fit for you, if it's not a good time to buy, if it's not a good time to sell, that is okay. This is a no pressure agent over here. I just want to make sure that you feel informed and that you can make good decisions. So make sure you share this with somebody, comment down below, and let's see each other in the next video.